Good morning and welcome. It's the early morning Sunday show. Or late night Sunday show. Maybe it's that. It's a really early one. Woke up with one of them headaches today. Suddenly, you're in bed and you go, God bless it. I got a headache. 3 a.m. Oh, well, let's get out and let's just do an early morning Sunday show. So there we go. Cheers. Today, there's some dark music. For those that like it a little darker, a little edgier, I think you're going to be happy with it. But there's also one of the most important blues albums ever made, and some other fantastic blues. If you learn like some Chicago blues, there's some awesome stuff here. And new music, old music, so typical day. Enjoy. Next weekend, I got my speech contest. It's the final one. It's the finals for the humorous speech contest. So I see how it goes. I probably should be practicing a little bit more. But man, I've done it so many times. So we'll find out. Okay. Let's get going. Because it's going to be, there's some stuff today. And we're going to begin with this. And this is, the group is called The Underground Youth. And I've showed their albums before. There they are, The Underground Youth. And they don't really look like youth, do they? They look like the underground, almost middle-agers, I guess. Maybe some are young, but there's the brainchild of it. And Craig Dyer. And Craig Dyer is out of England, London. But this group is based out of Berlin. That's where they're at. Post-punk, psych, shoegaze started in about 2008. And they have put out 12 albums. And a lot of their albums is generally raw and noisy, but kind of romantically melancholy. That might be a way. It is darker, though. It is darker. Well, this is the 12th album, Decollage, and this came out of Fuzz Club. This is my Fuzz Club record of the month, and written by Dreyer, of course. And it kind of sounds like Nick Cave and Lee Hazelwood got together, and kind of a blending of Cave and Hazelwood. That's the kind of vocals you get off this. It has a dark feel with strings almost giving it a cinematic type sound. They're Dyer, he kind of weaves his stories in and out of this fairly sweeping music, in my opinion. And, there's one song like Father, was it? It's, a couple songs. Father, and another one's called Your Beloved Hollywood. I really like those. And it just sounds like they'd be perfect on Nick Cave album. I should have gave you samples of those, but I didn't. But his voice, really, and the music had a dark Nick Cave feel to it. When I first put this on, it didn't. It was just, it's darker, and it's like, wow. And it took me some repeated listenings with it, and the more I've sat with this to listen to it and absorb it, the more I've liked this. It's definitely not something to put on if you feeling a little down, I don't think, but yeah, it's pretty good, pretty good. I think their last album I liked better. But this one grows on me. So it's The Underground Youth, and the name of it is Decollage, I guess. Decollage, out of Berlin. All I want is your mind.
The hanging of a queen.
first showing of talking about a Record Store Day album, and this one I could not have been more excited on. It was U2's Passengers. Yeah, I told this story that I had the opportunity of an original, and twice I went to that little record store out kind of in nowhere, and there it was. And I didn't drop. I mean, it was asking for a lot of money. This was 10 years ago or so. And it's like, I didn't buy it. And it's one of those that haunts you. And sometimes that happens. You know, we go into a record store, we see somewhere really want, I can't afford it. You go back, it's still there, but I can't afford it. And then it's gone, or you don't make it back. And then you just kick yourself. Sometimes that's why I just pull triggers on stuff, because I know I'm going to have that kind of remorse. So, but let's do this one. And so this came out on Record Store Day. U2 is a lot of people don't know this. They are Australia's band of choice. Folks just don't know that, but they are Australia's national band, even though they're out of Ireland. I just thought I would share that little bit of info. That was shared with me by Mike Rankin. And there's the inner sleeves. Look at that. They're wearing chef's hats. I'm not quite sure why, but they're chef's hats. This was done with Brian Eno. It got together. And it was, gosh darn, when was this done? You know what? I didn't even think about that part. It was toward the late 90s. It was kind of after pop. I remember when this album came out, and I bought the CD, and I'm listening and go, what in the hell are they doing? It was so different. This is very, very experimental. It's very minimalistic. To me, it is really their underrated gem in the U2 catalog, and that comes as time has gone. I have found that I really like this album a lot. I totally enjoy this. It was just so different when it came out, and I put the CD back on the shelf, and wasn't sure about it. Then Miss Sarajevo came out, and I go, whoa, what's that song? It's on Passengers. No kidding. And yeah. And that is the big song. Miss Sarajevo's on here. It's interesting story on Miss Sarajevo. So buckle up. Here we go. Luciano Pavarotti had gotten to know Bono's housekeeper. And so he got Bono's number, and Bono's just sitting there one day, and all of a sudden the phone rings, and he goes, Bono, this is Luciano Pavarotti. And Bono goes, what the hell? I mean, Pavarotti calling me? How did you get my number in that? And talking, he goes, well, I know your housekeeper. She gave me your number. He goes, I need a song. I need you to write a song for me. And Bono, well, I'm not sure. I'll try, but you got to be inspired. And he goes, don't worry, you will have this done. And so he was trying to think about it, but not getting it done. And his housekeeper come by. Signor Pavarotti, have you written this song? Have you written this song for Signor Pavarotti? He goes, I'm trying. But, they're working on another album also. Then she finally goes, don't worry, Easter is coming. Easter is coming, and you will be inspired. Easter came, and he wrote Miss Sarajevo. He said, it came to me. It came to me at Easter. And he says, wow. And so he wrote this, and Edge came in, they helped, and Edge says, hey, the tenor part, Pavarotti's part, it has to be a little bit higher because he's going to want a high note. And they wrote this beautiful song, and Brian Eno was part of it. So that was it. They gave it to Pavarotti, and so they're in the studio, and they're getting ready. They're going. They have a tour coming up and everything, and it's all lined up. And Pavarotti comes. He goes, when he gets a phone call from Pavarotti. He goes, well, we need to perform this song. We need to perform this song. And he goes, I can't. I says, I'm in the studio right now in Dublin, and we got touring. And he goes, I can't go to Italy to meet you. He goes, that's no problem. I'm in Dublin right now, and I'm on my way over. Pavarotti comes in with a camera crew, to ask him, hey, we need to perform this song in front of the cameras. What's Bono going to say? No, we're not. So they do. And it's beautiful. What their performance of this, and you can find it on YouTube. And music, a great song should create emotion. Maybe that emotion's anger. Maybe that emotion's melancholy. But it changes something in you. You feel a good song in you. And that's what this does. This song can bring me to tears. It seriously brings me to tears because of the beauty and what they're singing about. The war's going on in Syria. Think Ukraine, what's happening right now. These people are being bombed. They're living underground. And Pavarotti, I believe World War II, he saw this kind of happening in Italy. And so he felt for the children there and wanted to do something for them, raise money for them. And so this came about. And this song is one of the most powerful songs to me ever written. It just creates emotion, intense emotion when I hear this. And the sample I'm gonna play you from it is of Pavarotti's, his part in it, because it is, I love opera, and it is magnificent, absolutely magnificent. If you don't like opera, you aren't going to get it, but if you just listen to the power and the beauty that's happening, it's amazing. But there's other great stuff on this. There's like You Beloved Hollywood, and that oh my God, I'm thinking of my last album. That's way too early. Your Blue Room is the name of the song. Your Blue Room, and on it just has there's a beauty to that too. Just gorgeous. Brian Eno's, does, play all over this and produce this. It does just a great job. This was made to be like a soundtrack. That's how it's written, like it's from the music from, and they have these make-believe movies or whatever. Wonderful, wonderful album, and has Miss Sarajevo.
It's time to go again to your blue room.
Not just blues, we're moving into Chicago blues, and we're going to talk Howlin Wolf. Howlin Wolf, born in 1910, passed in 76, only 66 years old. He looked older. Born in Mississippi, Chester Arthur Burnett is his real name. In the 1930s, he was a protege of Charlie Patton. Went to the Army. I think he had some jail time too, here and there. But an A&R man heard him in the early 50s, a guy named Ike Turner. And so Ike Turner hears this guy and says, you need to come and record at Sun Records. And he brought him to Sun. Well, and Chess got a hold of this and hearing it, because I don't think Sun really knew what to do with him. Chess did know what to do with him. And so he came to Chicago and began recording to Chess. So I have some albums here from one of the greatest bluesmen of all time. This is the bluesman that had the power. This is the bluesman that could scare you with that voice. It was so strong, so tough, just wonderful. And he only did 11 albums. Howlin Wolf did just 11 albums, but there are 1 billion compilations out there of those songs. So the first here I'm going to show is the Real Folk Blues. And this is an original that I found in a record store. And it is clean as a whistle. This is beautiful. No scuffs, no cracks, no nothing. It is in perfect condition. We have chest checker, inner sleeve. Isn't that wonderful? Just cool stuff on here. And this album, basically, it is a compilation, because that's what a lot of them were, the Real Folk Blues. And it takes music from, I tell you, it came out in 66. It takes music from his mid-50s. In the early 50s, he has some huge hits. In the early 60s, he has some huge hits. This looks at the mid-50s. It's a very intense album, especially the opening of Killing Floor. And it's just 32 minutes of pure Chicago blues. And that's what you get. These you don't hear as many, as often, these songs, but yeah, it's not like one of his other albums that we'll show, but still, there were some incredible 45s, and they put them all together on here, the Real Folk Blues. And as I tell you, this thing is in just perfect condition. So I was blown away to see that in a record store. Then we have this one, not in perfect condition. Howlin Wolf Sings the Blues. And you can see there's tape around here. Coming through the bottom. I need some more tape. But this was at a really good price. It was in the honey hole. The vinyl is definitely not VG. It is. It's really scuffed up. It doesn't skip, but it does click and does fuzz a little bit. So this kind of a patchwork album, shall we say. This is a compilation of sides that he did for the Modern label from 51 to 52. So they were able to chest work with them to get these sides. And what you have on here is you got songs with boogie woogie piano, which is really kind of different. Howlin Wolf being backed by boogie woogie piano. And it is a great look at electric blues, very early electric blues, to see where it was going. There's 2 instrumentals on this album. What's interesting is those instrumentals are not Howlin Wolf. They are Joe Hill. What the hell? I don't know, but they're on there. So Joe Hill has some of them on, some songs on here. What you hear on here on this is the beginning of rock and roll. That's what feeling that you get. You could hear where rock and roll is going to go and going to start, because that's the feel you get on this one. So definitely not essential, but interesting. Howlin Wolf Sings the Blues. And we move into the early 70s, and we have London Howlin Wolf Sessions. And this came out in 71. When Wolf did this, he was really sick, and people didn't think that he should even be doing it. But all these young English musicians, Eric Clapton, Steve Winwood, Bill Wyman, Charlie Watts, they all wanted to do this with him. And obviously there's more of them than just that. And so they came up with this album, which blues purists hated. They hated this album. But in all honesty, it's not bad. I like it. I like these London sessions. Bo Diddley, Chuck Berry, Muddy Waters. They did that because, again, in America, the blues guys weren't getting the respect. In UK and in Europe, they were gods. And so that really makes it cool. And they really pour their heart into this. So, again, blues purists, what's up with that? Because it's more rock and roll and harder sounding. But I thought it sounds really good. They just play a bunch of chess classics, so you're going to get a lot of cool songs on here. Wang Dang Doodle, Who's Been Talking's on here. Oh, I don't know. I Ain't Superstitions, Poor Boy, Red Rooster. They're all on there. And the final one, and this is a repress. Man, it'd be cool if it was original. This is a repress from 1984. 1964, I believe. This album came out in 1962, the famous Rocking Chair album. It's just titled Howlin' Wolf, but it's the Rocking Chair album. And this is the singles from the late 50s, early 60s. And really, it's the cream of the crop of singles. This is the Howlin' Wolf album. You say, what Howlin' Wolf album should I ever get? This is the one. It was produced by Willie Dixon. I would say this is called an essential album when you think of early electric blues. Shake for Me, Red Rooster's on here, Wang Dang Doodle, Spoonful is on here, Backdoor Man, which the Doors then took and made it into their own deal. Super awesome album. It's one of those, if you don't collect blues or you wanted to do blues, find a copy of this. There's a lot of represses out there. This is one of those starting points to go that really will bring you into what electric Chicago blues was about. So Howlin' Wolf's Rockin' Chair. Fantastic.
I should have quit you a long time ago. I should have quit you, babe, long time ago. I should have quit you and went on to Mexico. I'm gonna give you a party tonight. Oh, baby, I'm gonna give you a party tonight. I want you to ride with me, honey, while the moon is shining bright. Don't want you to help me. I didn't let you down like jelly on a plate. Upset in every way. Oh, the dogs begin to bark and hounds begin to howl.
Yeah, Howlin' Wolf. Oh, awesome stuff. VCLT. And this was from Yanni. When Yanni was in the U.S., I talked about this before, he sent me a few albums. Yanni's from Sweden. His channel is Pops and Clicks. And he travels a lot, which allows him to get to different record stores here and there around the world. And Yanni has a wonderful channel. He films at his house. He films at his stuga. He just heck of a collection. And a lot of the albums, I really love what he buys. So great stuff. I really like Yanni a lot. Please check out Pops and Clicks. But this is Magnus Pelander. Magnus Pelander is it's a solo album by him. And I had no idea who he was, but he is a singer, guitarist. He's out of Sweden, obviously, and he has a rock band called Witchcraft. That is a pretty big deal. I don't know. Witchcraft, it's doom metal. It's occult rock. So yeah, it's right up my alley. But he did this solo album in 2016. I mean, Witchcraft started in 2000. They're still going. But in 2016, he did this. This is like dark folk. Might be the best way to describe it. Doomy type vibes are in this. It's very stripped down with minimal arrangements. He even uses a folk flute on the opener, which when I first go, that's a flute, a folky flute. Wow, are we doing Donovan here or what's going on? This another one where you keep playing. Yanni says, when he wrote to me, he goes, your musical tastes are all over and you seem to like about anything. And he's right. I do. Polka, no. But This has gotten better and better, and there is some wonderful gems on this. I mean, look, and isn't that a fun inner sleeve on there? And let's look what the vinyl looks like. It's just a white, and it's black. Okay, so that was exciting. I'm glad you could stay for that. But it's kind of an acoustic guitar. There's some strings. Very minimal percussion is on this, and he has a voice. I mean, it almost sounds like he's been wounded. It's almost sorrowful. Some incredible backing vocals going on. This is fun. There is a song on here. It's called Precious Swan, and on Precious Swan, it's like this 10-minute folk psych happening, and there's some really cool guitar work that goes on. I'm gonna play you a sample of that. This was a grower for me, but it's grown very well, and now I am enjoying it. Different. It's different and folky type music in a very dark vein that kind of has a lot of psych in it. Cool stuff. Yanni, you hit a home run. I know you weren't sure what I would think about this, and I like it a lot. Well done. The final album right now, we have The Third Sound out of Berlin. That's two groups out of Berlin. I don't know. I guess we went the German route, which I said, well, it's going to be kind of dark music today. Yeah, look at that cool color. Not even sure what you call that. I guess Berlin only makes dark stuff. This is All Tomorrow's Shadows. Kind of think about that. All Tomorrow's Shadows. It's somewhat of a tribute to Velvet Underground, All Tomorrow's Parties, but I would say later day Velvet Underground. Dark post-gothic type music. This is The Third Sound's fourth album, came out in 2018. I have one or two other albums from them. Eerie, psych-tinged elegance. Could be a good way to describe it. Again, they're playing this homage to Velvet Underground, but also to Brian Jonestown Massacre. They're using them as an inspiration, and Anton Newcomb from Brian Jonestown Massacre does sing vocals on here on Photographs, so he's on this. It has kind of a 60s psych with 70s post-punk type of feel to it. Think maybe the Seeds getting together with Joy Division. The Seeds and the Joy Division collide, and this pops out. Yeah, maybe that's it. On Our Way to Desolation was a neat song. It has a desert psych feel to it. When we finally, what was it? When we finally wake up. I think I'm playing you a sample from that one. Has trippy guitars and keys and very spacey vocals. No, maybe I'm not. I can't remember what you're getting a sample of. Deal with it. Just dark, melancholy type music. Cool stuff from The Third Sound.
It's where you go. You sold your soul, but you don't know. The end is near. Light your tear, your grace.
So there we have it for the week. Very dark week going on. Check out my podcast, Jim Gleason. This week we are going to talk about album artwork. Maybe that inspired us to buy a record album, which I should just do one of those someday. So yeah, it should be very good. Thanks for dropping by. Totally appreciate it. And maybe I can get a nap in, so I'm not going to be dead tired today. So thanks, everyone. Sun comes up in another 2 hours. Bye.